America is a land of opportunity, but let's not pretend every corner of it offers a good life. Some states, despite their beauty or rich history, are struggling with serious issues like skyrocketing crime rates, collapsing infrastructure, stagnant economies, or unbearable living costs. As we step into 2025, it's crucial to know which states are more trouble than they're worth, especially if you're thinking about relocating. So buckle up, and let's dive into the 10 states you should absolutely avoid moving to this year. Number 10. West Virginia, the state that's falling apart from the inside out. West Virginia might dazzle with its scenic mountains and coal heritage, but beneath the postcard views is a state in steady decline. Its economy, devastated by the fall of the coal industry. Renewable energy is taking over, and West Virginia hasn't caught up. Job losses have piled up, dragging down the state's already low median household income. And let's talk health care. West Virginia ranks near the bottom nationwide, plagued by opioid addiction, high obesity rates, and one of the shortest life expectancies in the U.S. With rural hospitals closing, getting basic medical care is becoming a real challenge. Add to that a rapidly aging population, high poverty, and youth fleeing in droves, and you've got a recipe for disaster. Infrastructure is crumbling, schools are underperforming, and the state lacks a young workforce to rebuild. It's not just struggling, it's sinking. 9. New Mexico. Beautiful views, dangerous streets. New Mexico might charm you with its desert landscapes and rich culture, but don't be fooled. It's also one of the most dangerous places to live in America. Violent crime is rampant, especially in cities like Albuquerque and Santa Fe. Burglaries, assaults, and car thefts are alarmingly common, and local law enforcement simply can't keep up. And then there's the education system, which ranks near the bottom in national assessments. Teachers are underpaid, dropout rates are high, and schools are underfunded. That doesn't bode well for families hoping for a brighter future. The economy here is shaky too. Government and tourism jobs dominate, but they don't offer long-term security. Add in a struggling healthcare system, especially in rural areas, and you're looking at serious quality of life concerns. For many, New Mexico just isn't worth the risk. 8. New Jersey, where your wallet goes to die. New Jersey might have some perks. Beaches, proximity to NYC, and cultural hotspots. But financially, it's a nightmare. This state has one of the highest costs of living in the country. Buying a home? Expect sky-high prices. Renting? Also brutal. Even basic groceries and gas are more expensive here. And then there's the tax situation. Property taxes in New Jersey are among the highest in the nation, and the burden doesn't stop there. You'll also be hit with hefty income taxes, sales taxes, and countless tolls. It's a death by 1,000 cuts. The traffic is horrific. The public transport is jammed, and commuting to nearby cities is both time-consuming and costly. Plus, parts of the state, like Camden and Trenton, still battle crime, poverty, and urban decay. If you're dreaming of financial freedom, New Jersey is where that dream goes to die. 7. Mississippi, the poorest state America wants you to avoid. Mississippi holds a grim title as the poorest state in the entire country, and that's no accident. With the lowest median household income nationwide and a staggering poverty rate hovering above 18%. Life here is a daily struggle for many. Jobs are scarce and wages barely cover the basics, leaving most residents in a constant state of financial insecurity. The economy leans heavily on federal aid, and while agriculture and manufacturing offer some employment, the pay is low and career advancement is nearly impossible. But the financial woes aren't the only problem. Mississippi's healthcare system ranks dead last in the nation. Chronic illnesses like heart disease, diabetes, and obesity plague the population, and rural hospital closures mean many have zero access to basic medical care. Infant mortality rates are alarmingly high, making it one of the worst places for health outcomes. Education? Also a disaster. Schools suffer from severe underfunding, teacher shortages, and dismal test scores. Parents face the harsh reality of sending their kids to underperforming schools with little hope for improvement. Add in rising crime rates, especially in cities like Jackson and Gulfport, and it becomes clear safety is a real concern. Then there's the weather. Mississippi is battered yearly by hurricanes, tornadoes, and floods. Climate change is making these disasters more frequent and severe, causing property damage and skyrocketing insurance costs. To top it all off, the state's infrastructure is crumbling. Bad roads, toxic water crises, and barely functioning public services make everyday life frustrating and risky. If you want a financially stable, safe, and healthy place to live in 2025, Mississippi should be at the very bottom of your list. 6. Minnesota. From prosperity to crime and cold, why it's losing its shine. Once a symbol of steady economic growth and quality living, Minnesota is sliding downhill fast. High state income taxes, top earners pay nearly 10%, combined with soaring property and business taxes, have created a hostile environment for residents and companies alike. Major businesses are fleeing to friendlier tax states like Texas and Florida, slashing job opportunities and slowing economic momentum. The crime surge is impossible to ignore. Since 2020, cities like Minneapolis and St. Paul have faced waves of carjackings, robberies, and violent assaults. Police forces have been hamstrung by budget cuts and staffing shortages following calls to defund the police, leaving many neighborhoods feeling vulnerable and unsafe. Minnesota's brutal winters are legendary for all the wrong reasons. Sub-zero temperatures, heavy snowfalls, and blizzards make daily life a challenge, while summer storms bring flooding and property damage. These harsh weather conditions add another layer of difficulty to living in the state. Housing costs have also skyrocketed. Median home prices in metro areas have surged beyond what middle-class families can reasonably afford, while rents keep climbing amid a shrinking housing supply. If you thought Minnesota was a safe bet for a good life, think again. Finally, political instability and social unrest have rocked the state, with violent protests and polarized communities becoming the new norm. Many residents are packing up and looking elsewhere for safety and stability. Minnesota's star is dimming fast. 5. Michigan, the declining industrial giant you should skip. Michigan's heyday as the heart of America's auto industry is over, and it's left the state struggling to survive. While Detroit has made headlines with some revitalization efforts, much of the state still faces economic decline. Manufacturing jobs continue to vanish, unemployment remains stubbornly high, and the workforce is shrinking as young talent leaves for better opportunities. Michigan's heavy dependence on the auto sector is a liability, especially as automation and global disruptions shake the industry. Poverty and income inequality grip many communities, with around 14% of residents living below the poverty line. Winters here are brutal, with lake-effect snowstorms piling on inches of dangerous snow and freezing temperatures that can make even short trips hazardous. Crime is another major headache. Detroit ranks among the most violent cities in the country, while smaller cities like Flint and Saginaw battle gang violence and drug problems. Infrastructure is falling apart, from crumbling roads to aging water systems. The Flint water crisis still haunts Michigan's reputation, reminding everyone of governmental mismanagement and health risks from contaminated water. Even today, many communities face ongoing water quality problems. Michigan might boast stunning lakes and affordable housing, but its economic instability, crime, cold winters, and infrastructure nightmares make it a tough sell for anyone thinking of moving in 2025. 4. Louisiana. Beautiful culture, but a nightmare in reality. Louisiana's rich cultural heritage and lively traditions may lure you in, but beneath the surface, it's a state in crisis. The economy is shaky, heavily dependent on volatile industries like oil, gas, and tourism. Job losses in these sectors have hit hard, wages remain low, and nearly 1 in 5 residents lives in poverty. Crime here is some of the worst in the country. New Orleans, Baton Rouge, and Shreveport top the charts for violent crimes, homicides, and drug trafficking. Gang violence and underfunded police departments make safety a daily concern for residents. Natural disasters are practically a way of life in Louisiana. Hurricanes slam the coast nearly every year, with catastrophic storms like Katrina and Ida still fresh in memory. Coastal erosion is literally sinking parts of the state, and summers bring unbearable heat and humidity that can push heat indexes over 110 degrees Fahrenheit. Homeowners face soaring insurance premiums as the risk from climate change intensifies. Education is another sore spot, with the state ranking near the bottom nationally. Schools suffer from chronic underfunding, low teacher pay, and poor student outcomes. Healthcare struggles too, especially in rural areas where facilities are understaffed and access is limited. Maternal and infant mortality rates remain shockingly high. Louisiana's cultural charm can't mask the reality. Economic instability, rampant crime, frequent disasters, and failing public services make it one of the worst places to move in 2025. 3. Kentucky, economic collapse and the harsh reality behind the bluegrass. Kentucky may be famous for bourbon and horse racing, but it's wrestling with serious problems. The economy is in decline, dragged down by the collapse of coal mining and manufacturing jobs. These traditional industries have all but disappeared, and the job market hasn't replaced them with alternatives in tech or finance. Low median incomes and limited career prospects push young people to leave the state, creating a brain drain that weakens Kentucky's workforce even further. The healthcare system is struggling, too. The state suffers from high rates of obesity, diabetes, and smoking-related diseases, all contributing to low life expectancy. Rural hospitals are closing at an alarming rate, leaving huge gaps in medical care access. Education in Kentucky is underfunded and underperforming. Public schools are overcrowded and lack resources, and teacher pay remains low. Many students graduate unprepared for college or careers, perpetuating the cycle of economic struggle. Crime, particularly in urban centers like Louisville, is on the rise. The opioid epidemic has devastated communities, overwhelming law enforcement and social services. Infrastructure is falling apart as well, with roads and water systems in disrepair and environmental hazards from old coal mining sites still threatening residents' health. If you want a place with economic opportunity, quality health care, and good schools, Kentucky is not it in 2025. 2. Iowa. Friendly farms, a shrinking, struggling state. Iowa is often celebrated for its farmland and small-town friendliness, but 2025 reveals a different story. The job market is stagnant, dominated by agriculture and small business sectors that have shrunk due to automation and industry consolidation. Young workers keep leaving for better opportunities elsewhere, causing the population to decline rapidly. An aging population adds pressure on healthcare and social services, which are already stretched thin. Harsh winters and tornado-prone summers add to the challenges of living here, with costly property damage and recovery efforts becoming routine. Culturally, Iowa falls flat for many. There are limited entertainment, dining, and nightlife options, driving younger residents to nearby cities or other states. The education system is strained by budget cuts and teacher shortages, especially in rural areas where schools are closing. Political and social tensions are growing too, with divisive policies on reproductive rights, LGBTQ+ issues, and immigration, making the state less welcoming to diverse communities. Iowa's low cost of living is tempting, but its economic stagnation, shrinking population, harsh weather, and social divisions make it a poor relocation choice in 2025. 1. Alabama, the state you should think twice about moving to. Alabama might be known for Southern hospitality and football, but it's struggling with serious issues that make it a risky move in 2025. The economy is weak, wages are low, and job prospects are limited outside of manufacturing and agriculture. Nearly 15% of residents live below the poverty line, with little hope for upward mobility. Education is underfunded and underperforming, especially in rural areas where schools lack resources and teachers are poorly paid. Crime rates are high in cities like Birmingham and Mobile, fueled by economic inequality and lack of opportunities. Alabama is smack in the middle of Tornado Alley, facing frequent hurricanes, tornadoes, and flooding. These natural disasters cause constant damage and drive insurance costs through the roof. Healthcare is another big problem. The state has some of the worst health outcomes in the nation, with high rates of obesity, diabetes, and other chronic illnesses. Rural residents often lack access to adequate medical facilities, making healthcare a daily challenge. All these factors add up to a state where safety, health, and financial security are uncertain at best. Alabama should be near the bottom of anyone's list for relocating in 2025.